Welcome back. It's time we analyze some of the cues and some of the news that our research team put on the table. And of course, today is perhaps the first serious trading day with all other markets open. So we want some good advice. And we have Dipan Mehta, Director at Elixir Equities, joining us with just that. Good morning, Dipan. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me first of all wish you a fabulous 2023 to you and your dear ones. And shoot the first question. Very good numbers coming from all the smaller banks, and they've already had a fabulous 2023. So which banking sector, subsector would you prefer? Old private sector banks, we haven't concentrated much. Time to look at them?
Good morning, Lata, and thank you for having me on your show, and all the best for the new year as well. Season's greetings to you and the entire CNBC team. I think 2023 is going to be a fabulous year. And I think banks have to be the focus area for 2023 as well. I know that the old private sector banks have been a bit neglected, but generally they are conservative managements, not so much in the news. But I think the performance speaks for themselves. I saw the review which has come from the old private sector banks. I think very, very impressive. Valuations also are pretty attractive. They are generally in line with PSU banks trading at about 0.8 to 1.2 times price to book. And with the small size which they have the capacity and the capital to grow at about 20% plus for next 2-3 years or so if the environment is positive. So you could expect even a re-rating of the price to book multiple. So generally positive on old private sector banks, but that's true for almost all banks which are trading in the secondary market. I think they're all at attractive levels. All seem to be like secular growth stories. It's just that PSU banks may outperform. Because I think that there is still some way to go as far as re-rating of the valuation ratios are concerned.
Okay, Dipan, hi, good morning. What's happening at Zomato? Another big exit. This is the fourth big exit in a year. And while management reshuffles are common course of business, a spate of recent exits in such a short span of time is quite worrying for investors, right? What do you do with this stock now?
Yeah, Sonia, I think it's not a good development, but largely, I think the business plans are playing out pretty well for the company. We saw record food deliveries during the new year. And on the whole, I think the food delivery business and the Blinkit business are shaping up pretty well. The company is following through on its strategy. It has a plan to get into the positive as far as its profits are concerned. And that plan is working out pretty well. So you could have a minor dip on account of this negative news flow. But it's a large company and they have a lot of talent in place. So I don't think it's going to impact the operations that much. On the whole, I think food delivery is becoming more and more mainstream. And that's, I think, very positive from the long-term prospects of Zomato. And the quarter in which I think it starts to break even, I think investors will start to re-rate the stock as well. So very positive on Zomato, but you need to have a really long-term view, 3 years, 5 years, and even beyond. Because this company is going to be around for a long, long time. And food delivery business is not going to get disrupted anymore. And a great deal of consolidation also has taken place. So both the companies in the space will take advantage of this consolidation and gradually increase their yields.
Okay, all right, Dipan.
So sounding like one of those fathers whose children are repeatedly ordering on Zomato. And so he
That's what I meant, Lata, that it's becoming so mainstream. That the younger generation just lives off Zomato and Swiggy, I think. I don't know. Don't want to operate.
You can even include older generation.
All right, so Dipan clearly sounding quite positive on Zomato, and it's likely to open up in the red as well. But if you have a 3 to 5 year view, as Dipan said, well, the stock looks pretty good. Dipan, what about these infra construction companies? Have you had a look at any of them? You have PSP projects. Well, they have got a rather large size order of around 1,300 crores. We had a couple of chats in the past couple of months with ITD cementation as well. Infra seems to be moving on ground. Anything you like from that space?
Yeah, good morning, Nigel. Absolutely. I think that engineering construction companies are going to have a fabulous next 2-3 years or so. And companies like PSP projects, and I know you cover ITD cementation also in depth. It's one of our favorite companies within the sector. Disclosure that we and our clients are invested, like the corporate governance standards over there and their project selection strategy. And then, of course, there's the big daddy Larsen and Toubro. I think it's been doing all the right things for the past 2-3 years in terms of improving the quality of its balance sheet and capital allocation policies, as well as trying to increase its return ratios. And all of this will start getting visible over the next 2-3 years or so. And considerable value and subsidies also being created as far as L&T is concerned. So one needs to have a decent allocation in the infra space, especially the infrastructure project development, rather the project execution companies. And L&T would be our top pick. I think it should be part of every core holding of every portfolio. And I think that next 2-3 years will be exceptionally good for this sector. And they have a good run. I think PSP projects also on a solid wicket, and these kind of order book position certainly gives a lot of visibility as far as earnings and profitability is concerned.
Let me just finish that. IRB Infra.
Well, I think that you don't track it as closely, and it's more to do as an operator rather than an actually engineering construction company. And we prefer engineering construction companies. I think there's better growth prospects there than actual companies executing the infra projects.
Okay.
Rather operating the infra projects.
It's at a 52-week high, which is why I asked. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Well, Dipan, request you to hang on. We're going to come back to you. For the time being, just invite our first management, Confidence Petroleum. That's the first corporate on the show. The company